Hey everybody, Mike Steele here with Barbecue Champs Academy live show tonight, and we have got a great lineup of three incredible SCA competition cookers, Miss Katelyn Crain, Steve Conaway, and Mr. Ras Braz himself. Mark is with us tonight. We're looking for a great show. We've got some great things to talk about. And we got a big announcement to make to all of our Barbecue Champ Academy alumni that is competing in the SCA. We're going to give you the full-blown details of that here in just a moment. As you come in, certainly let us know. We're expecting a really big show tonight. Got a lot of folks already popping on. We got Mr. Brandon. I guess he may be in the other room. Maybe we should have put him in, Katelyn. I thought about that as well. We got Mr. Ron with us. Rick, glad to have you with us last week, buddy. Really do appreciate it, and thank you for all your support and everything that you have done to help Barbecue Champs Academy. Jeremy, we appreciate you being here from Searcy. We got Carly here as well. Carly, I'm going to have to get you and Joe or Chuck and Vanessa on here as well. So got Papa Joe Grilling Supplies in Hutto, Texas. Is with us. As you know, they are one of our sponsors on Barbecue Champs Academy. They have always stepped up and carry probably 95% of the rubs that we use in all of our classes, not only just the steak stuff. I think they probably got everything in the steak stuff, but they've also stepped up and got a lot of the stuff in the barbecue things that we use for our classes as well. So thank you guys. We greatly appreciate it, and we're slowly trying to get you guys worked in on our show. We want to give you guys the limelight as well. We've also got Mr. Ashley. How you doing, Ashley? Appreciate you being on here. Got Mr. Big Jim Hudgens on here as well. Glad that you made it. Yes. DJ May, glad to have you here all the way out from the nice, cool Arizona. It's probably a cool, crisp 120 degrees out there. So anyway, glad to have you with us. Got Mr. John with us all the way from Madison, Wisconsin. Hopefully the weather is a little bit cooler up there than it is down here in muggy Louisiana. Got Alan Jackson with us. Appreciate you being here. As you come on, just let us know. And if you have any questions for our guest tonight, obviously we certainly do want you to ask. We're going to try to get a little bit of information out of them, see what they really like about the SCA new rules this year. We've got quite a few topics that we're going to talk about. We're going to just have a big roundtable discussion. I kind of like to have everybody in the mix at once, ask them certain questions, get their feedback. They can kind of comment what the other ones are saying as well. And I just think it's a better way to learn and have a better show. And that's what we're always trying to do here at Barbecue Champs Academy. We got Mr. Bob with us. Appreciate it, Bob. We got also Rusty with us. Thank you, Rusty, for being here. And like I said, we're looking for a great show for tonight. I do want to go in and make an announcement real quick for our partners that we have. We could not do what we do without them. Certainly do want to thank Be Extreme, Mr. Denny Helm. Always been here to support us from day one, and appreciate everything that he is doing, not only for us and helping us out, but his contribution to the SCA, him and Terry Roan. They're just class acts. Also, B&B Charcoal. Glad to have them aboard. They've been with us since day one, and we certainly do appreciate their support as well. We got Mr. Brian Crawford at Lone Star Barbecue Pro Shop. Brian has got a great retail store down in South Texas, and he also has some amazing barbecue rubs and pit spritz, his Crawford's Barbecue pit products. He's got some exceptional rubs there, and we appreciate them being on board as well. Also, Papa Joe Grilling Supplies in Hutto, Texas. We just got through mentioning Chuck and Vanessa. If you're looking for anything for rubs, especially you state competition folks, they have got probably every single rub that we use, I know, in our class, and we always appreciate them being here. Mr. David with Gunter Wilhelm, some of the absolute best knives that I have ever come across. Wicked sharp, hold a edge, probably as good or better than any knife that I have ever used in my life. And certainly do appreciate David and his support being on our show each and every week in support of the things that he's done, even for those that have taken our classes. We had a big discount that he had gave everybody for Father's Day, and we will always reach out to him and try to bring everyone really good deals from time to time. Also, we got Gina with Tapacue. I know I need to get in touch with her. I know she was working on a new dual sensor probe that was a real small diameter probe, so reading 2 temps in the steaks at once. So we're going to check with her and see how that's coming. And last but not least, I cannot thank Dustin Stanley enough with the barbecue store down in Hempstead, Texas. Dustin is another one that carries almost every single rub that we use, I know, in our barbecue class, and probably has at least 90% of the ones that are in our steak class. So we appreciate Dustin. As always, he's got a absolute phenomenal store down in Hempstead, Texas as well. So got a few more folks that's come on here. Let's see who we got. Mr. Paul, thank you for being here. Renee Green, thank you as well. Charcoal Grillers, thank you for being here. I'm thinking we're going to have a pretty good show as well. Look at there, we got Angel with us. Thank you for being here. And who else we got? Got Manny with us. Glad to have you here all the way from Maryland. There we go. We got Chris on here as well. Thank you. Looks like Steve's got a fan. So got Jody Davis. Appreciate Jody being with us. Thank you, all the way from East Tennessee. So let's see. Scott McDaniel, thank you for being here. David, appreciate you being here. Tell Raz hello. Well, he'll be able to tell him here in just a second, because we're about to go live with all these folks. We got Andrew with us. And like I said, we're going to kind of bring these folks in. And also, like I said, I got a big announcement to make for everybody, especially that has taken any of our classes on Barbecue Champs for the state competition. We got a big announcement that we're fixing to make. And I'm going to go ahead and make that announcement real quick. And then we're going to bring in our guest. So here's what we're fixing to do. You know, ever since this new iPhone update has come out, it's kind of hurt our Facebook advertising, just not getting to the people. And one of the things that I always like to do is go back to grassroots anyway, right? I mean, there's no better advertising than our customers that have taken our class. So we want to give back to the customers that have taken our class, our Barbecue Champs Academy alumni, as I like to call it. So over the course of the next 12 weeks from now to September the 30th, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give away $50 a week, every week from now to September the 30th, to our Barbecue Champ Academy alumni that have taken our state classes. Whoever has the highest overall score at SCA competitions across the United States, you're going to get a $50 from us. We'll just wire it straight from a PayPal directly to you. And we just want to be able to give back. So here's the one thing that we're asking. To enter the competition, number one, if you have a top 10 call, we want to give us a shout out, like everybody has done over all of last year, and I think a lot of them are still doing it. But one of the things that we're going to ask you is give us a shout out on the stage that you've taken Barbecue Champs Academy classes and how they felt. Number two is when you make your post, how you did. You know, most everybody will usually post how well they did. If you would, instead of using a hashtag, do at BBQ Champs Academy, at BBQ Champs Academy. And when you do the at BBQ Champs Academy, it'll populate it in, it'll turn it blue. And then that way, if somebody's reading your post, they can click that and it'll take them directly to our Facebook page. So that's the only two things that we ask. Give us a shout out on the stage. Post, when you make your post, put at BBQ Champs Academy. And it would also be helpful to me if you would post what your overall score was. And like I said, whoever has the highest overall score of the Barbecue Champs Academy alumni, and you do those two things, you will win $50. And it's just our way of giving back to our customers. As a lot of you know, may not have seen our post last night, but yesterday was our 2-year anniversary. We launched Barbecue Champs Academy on June the 28th, 2019 at about 7:30 on a Friday night, and it went across the Facebook media. It was just like the biggest buzz that I had ever seen. All of our barbecue brethren just shared this. It was absolutely phenomenal to witness and see, and it truly was what catapulted us and got us started. And from the bottom of my heart, I've always thanked everybody that has always done that and supported us and shared our post and everything else. It does mean a lot to us. So now our way of giving back and us reaching out to you guys to help us because of this new update that iPhone has made and how it's hurt Facebook ads, we want to just go back to that grassroots and just ask you to help us out. So I'll be making this post in all of the private message boards. So if you didn't get this, you'll certainly be able to see it there and have all the details as well. So without further ado, I'm going to kind of run through here and just catch up a couple more. We've got Chris on here, Nathan, appreciate you being on here. Steve is on here and posting. So I love it. Michael is with us all the way from good old Texas. Verril's, thank you for having us with it. Hot as hell in Oregon. Yeah, I bet so. So this means I have to start making steaks in a parking lot again. Absolutely. Let's see. My last cook-off, I finished sixth in both entries. Congratulations, Nathan. I've seen you definitely been improving, that's for sure. We got Paul with us. Candace Rogers is with us. Thank you for being here. We got Brandon with us as well. Best online grilling classes out there. Thank you, Brandon. And last but not least, we got Mr. Jason Rackley. Appreciate it, Jason. Thank you so much. And without further ado, let's bring in our guest tonight. So first of all, ladies first, we're going to bring in Miss Katelyn Crain. How are you doing, Miss Katelyn?
Hey, everybody. Hey, Mike. How's it going?
I am doing absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to a great show tonight. And got quite a few folks on here already. I told them, hey, line up the questions because we got probably three of some of the best cooks that I've seen in the SCA. And I want to congratulate you, young lady, on that big golden ticket that you got. Do you have it? There we go. Heck yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. So awesome job. Congratulations.
So
and I know I'll get to see you again in Fort Worth because
yes, sir.
I tell you what, I had an absolute blast over there filming everybody. And we are definitely planning on coming back again. We've got all the videos of all the people that did testimonials for us. We've had them. You did a great job. Have so many. I know you did one. I think Steve did one. Ras actually did one. Had a host of people. We're actually built, as you know, we've added a whole brand new look to our website. We put up a brand new page on our website on Sunday night or Sunday afternoon about 3 o'clock. We put up a new page on our Facebook, or excuse me, a new page on our website. Really interactive, looks a lot better, really geared toward the backyard people as well because we want to continue to grow this sport to reach the backyard people. So we're really looking forward to getting back over in Fort Worth as well. So we'll talk real quick just since you got the golden ticket. How did you feel when that hit?
Oh, my gosh. I actually have only went live twice for awards, and this was one I went live for. And I think everyone heard my reaction. I was just, oh my gosh, like on the verge of tears. And I went up there to accept it. I had to take a minute. And I was like, oh my goodness, I've had a pass down golden ticket. I've never won first.
Okay.
So it was definitely a surreal moment, an amazing moment, one that I will never, ever forget.
Yeah, that first one is always unbelievable.
So this one's definitely getting framed. So it will.
Yeah. Yes. Laminate it and frame it where it'll never change colors. So
for sure.
Well, congratulations. I'm so proud of you. I'm always so proud of any of our alumni that have taken our classes and have done well. It just, to me, it means everything to me. I mean, I beam, I mean, that was the whole reason why my mission of starting Barbecue Champs was to take the person that was, that just couldn't consistently get Walker, didn't know what to do, to be able to help them. So anyway, well,
really
congratulations.
Thankful for Barbecue Champs for sure. I definitely wouldn't be where I am without it today. So
well, I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right. So up next, let's bring in Mr. Steve Conaway. Steve Conaway, how are you doing, brother?
Hey, I am doing great. Thank you for having me on tonight. It's going to be a fun night.
Yes, absolutely. And how have you been doing here lately?
Well, I've been doing okay. Cooked a double in Sholo, Arizona a week and a half ago, and Steak A came in second place, and Steak B first place.
First place.
Pretty happy.
Yeah, we was trying to get Steve on here last week. One of the things that I'm going to try to do, if I catch some of our alumni that has, done really well, first, second, golden ticket, stuff like that, I'm going to certainly, if we don't have anybody lined up as guests, we're going to try to get you on the show. I mean, the Bible says give honor where honor's due, and I think that is nothing better than seeing, you guys get a big old golden ticket, first place, this, that. I think that's great. And last week I had reached out to you, but man, I know you've been working lots of long hours and you couldn't make it, but you was like, I may fall asleep tonight, but by gosh, I'm off and I'll be there. So thank you, Steve. I appreciate
that's
it.
right. Yeah, I got off work this morning and pretty much been awake all day. So, we're going to keep the energy up and have fun tonight.
That's it. That's exactly right. Last but not least, we got Mr. Ras Braz himself, the man, the myth, the legend that everybody wants to be like. Hey, Raz, how are you doing, brother?
I don't think so. Good, man. How are you?
Oh, come on now. Everybody, look at that. Come on, with a name like Ras Braz, Braz Q, come on now.
How many Z's got to put in there, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you got 3 that I'm looking on the screen right now, so.
It may put Steve asleep.
Yeah, he'll be fine. It'll take more than that to put him to sleep. So how have you been doing, buddy?
Cooking hot dogs, man. That's all I'm doing.
Cooking hot dogs. Yeah, whatever.
Dogs.
Whatever.
No, actually, it's been a lot of fun. And I will tell you, so I got a gold ticket last month in ancillaries, and I got my steak ticket. But this last weekend, I got another first in ancillaries, but I finally got to give a hand-me-down. I give it to Pam Bunsen. And I got to tell you, it's probably the most emotional moment I've had. I mean, the getting the gold ticket was really awesome, but to pass it down to somebody, I know that Pam has been working her, off getting it, and then just to be there, just to give it down to her. I think we probably hugged for a record maybe 30 minutes or so.
That's awesome.
But it was good. I mean, that's what SCA is about. It's the family and just that sharing. It was just it was a great moment. So I've been having a lot of fun traveling across a few states, meeting new family, getting ready to go to Mississippi here this week and meet some of my Southern Brotherhood out there. So it's been good.
What area do you typically cook at, Ras?
The territorial, aggressive, and mean East Coast steak mob territory.
Okay. So
yeah, so I'll with some great family.
Yeah, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's good. Yeah, some of the best. Got some great people in there.
Yeah. Now, Steve, you cook out on the West Coast, right? Aren't you in California area?
Yeah, that's correct. Live in California, cook California, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, primarily.
Okay. Yeah. And Katelyn, what about you?
We are located in Arkansas, so we're actually in a great central location.
Oh, yeah.
So we can hit Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, Missouri,
Alabama, Texas. If
Oklahoma, we can pop down, Texas, Kansas. I mean, we are very, very lucky to be in the location that we are in because we really have an option to cook every weekend if we wanted to.
Wow. That makes it nice. And I know Steve, he's like going, I wish I had that opportunity. So how many
I got a spare bedroom. Come on down. You can
that's it. Steve, look, I got a huge toy hauler out here that we film up. That's our backdrop. Anytime you want to drop in, you need a place in Louisiana. Remember, I'm in the northwest corner in Shreveport, so I'm 50 miles from Arkansas. I'm 20 miles from Texas. So it's open to you anytime you want to come through. So
appreciate the offer. And quite seriously, I had that offer when I was doing a coast to coast trip prior to the Worlds, and Will Collier said, "Well, if you need a place to stay, stop." So I did, and he put us up for the night, and it was really awesome. And that's the great part about the SCA is everyone's so willing to help other people and extend gear and set them up and host them. And I had the opportunity to reciprocate when Will came out to cook a double in Simi Valley, and that's awesome. So thank you for the offers. If I need them, I'll call you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at there, Mr. Danny Helms finally showed up. Danny, glad to have you here. So better late than never, right? So there it is, the Be Extreme cap right there. So, oh goodness gracious, come on, Steve. Sounds like a travel opportunity to a new region. Yeah, come on down, man. You can book your flight. Come on down.
I'll tell you real quick. I decided to buy a new truck at the end of February prior to Worlds, and I have 19,500 miles on it right now. Woo! And I just hit my 17th event.
Wow.
And some of those were doubles. So, when you live out on the West Coast,
you got to travel. Yeah.
But the
Wow.
sport is growing out here, and it's
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
starting to pick up, which is
Yeah.
great.
That's great. That is great. You know, I mean, it's so, and the thing is, just everything is so spread out there, right? I mean, I've
Oh,
been
yeah.
out in that area, and you know, you'll go miles and not see anything, and yet you go on the East Coast or somewhere where Katelyn lives. I mean, it's just densely populated, right? So,
Yeah.
all right. So let's. I got to start diving in, getting some questions out of everybody here. So I'm going to start, ladies first. So, you know, Katelyn, I mean, let's. What got you going? I mean, how long have you been cooking? What got you going? What helped you get to where you are today? What's some of the things that you can, some pro tips or something that you can share with some folks?
Okay. I actually started as a backyard griller. My dad bought me my first grill when I was 19 years old at a yard sale for $12.50. I cooked on that thing till the bottom fell out. I used to cook for all my friends in college and had a blast. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Then I met my husband. Well, not my husband then, but my husband now, Brandon, and his family competed in the KCBS here in Jonesboro every year. So I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. So I started helping them with competitions. And so I married into the competition side, but I've always loved grilling. And then SCA came to Jonesboro 2018, I believe. I cooked it. I got second to last. And then
Wow.
2019, I cooked it again in Jonesboro. I got third to last. And COVID hit 2020. I was like, well, I'm gonna up my state game. I was getting off work early, started watching YouTube, ordered my PK, practice, and I cooked my first. I'll say my first official SCA because I actually knew more about it in August of 2020, and I got seventh to last. And my husband Brandon, he can word for word tell you when we left that event, I looked over at him and I said, I am taking John Lindsay's class as soon as I get home. Because I met John Lindsay in Jonesboro in 2019, so I already had that connection. And
Right.
I took his class, and the next event I cooked, I got 13th. The next one I cooked, I got 4th. And
Wow.
just kind of sailed from there. Since then, I started using Wicked Pig. So I took Matt Overson's class and just kind of honed in on some stuff. And I tell you, between them two and the techniques and any of the coaches on Barbecue Champs, I know I've got some in mind that I'm waiting to take. I'm wanting to take them really bad, and I will eventually. But they're amazing. It's an amazing platform for new cooks like me. It's a big learning curve. I mean, I might still be in second to last and third to last. Now, and I'm not going to say I haven't been close to that since I've taken, but,
Right.
definitely I've always been in kind of, if I'm not top 10, I've always been in kind of arm's reach of right there.
Right.
And I could have changed one thing and been there, So it's definitely been a big help. Since this has started, I've been asked to be on Team Arcasipi with John and Ronald, a huge honor. Me and Brandon's on that team together. And also I'm a brand ambassador for Big Jim, Hudgens, Steak, and More Rub.
Oh, that is
So
awesome.
I can't thank them enough. The Arcasipi family, Big Jim, Miss Susan, the SCA family, the reps, the judges, Ken and Brett, I can't thank y'all enough. Without y'all, we could not do what we love every weekend. So hats off to y'all, and hats off to you, Mike, for setting this platform up for me and helping me get to where I am today.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. That was my mission. That was the whole vision of Barbecue Champs, was to help people. I wanted to see the sport grow. Barbecue, steak, all of it. Because it was kind of that dying breed. I know barbecue definitely was, and I just I don't want to see this die. I want to see this thing continue to grow. So, and that's a great story. It's a great journey, how you started, what you like to do, and where you are today. And pull that ticket out. Pull that ticket out. Pull that. Oh, yeah, there you go. And what did you get? Yes.
First
Golden
place, baby.
Golden ticket, baby. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right, let's see, Mr. Ras. Tell me how long you've been cooking, how you got started in your SCA journey. It's great to hear these stories.
Yeah, it is. So I've always loved to cook, and my early life, I did a lot of restaurant business for about 7 years. Was heavy into the grilling, doing ribs on my good old Weber years ago. And about 12 years ago, my brother bought me my first Weber WSM. I got a 22-inch WSM.
Yep.
Still got it. It's great stuff.
Love
And
it.
had a couple of friends come over, and you've never seen two massacred, petrified wood butts in your life. And they ate it. So I don't know how, but it was rock solid. And our church pastor found out that I got a smoker and called me up. He goes, "Brother," I heard you got a smoker, so you need to smoke for the church. So 2 weeks later, I went from two petrified butts to have to cook for about 125 people.
Uh-oh.
And thankfully, 12 years ago, Google still existed.
Yeah.
And I searched, I took notes, I studied. It's probably where I learned how to study and take notes so much. And it pulled off. So from that point on, I know my buddy Andrew's on. Andrew and I kind of just started doing church fundraisers 2-3 times a year for missions groups. And we did that, raised a lot of money. And then about 4 years into it, I decided I wanted to get into competition cooking. Looked pretty cool. Looked around the country, all over the place, and all the big pit masters were booked up, and a local pit master, John Atkins from Pigs on the Run, just in Fluvanna, was there, and I took his class. And Teresa Bell, who's from Big Dogs Barbecue, was there. We took our class together, and this is 9 years ago. And after the class, he asked me to join the next tournament, which was the Chesapeake tournament. And then we spent about 8 years together, just actually as one of his guys. I graduated up into the ranks, and from just the guy scraping the bowls and cleaning up to actually doing the butts and the ribs. And we had a blast. And in 2019, after I think about 16 years, he retired from the catering, from restaurant business, the circuit, and I was left with nothing to do. So just looking on Facebook, I saw a lot of the SCA, I think, was still kind of getting active out there, and like a lot of folks saw the Johnny Josephs and the Cosmo YouTubes and said, "This is kind of cool stuff. I think I can do a steak." And we're always backyard steak grillers. Mm-hmm. And I know Angel is on, so Angel's is my Angel. I reached out to Angel. I think she had just gotten her gold ticket, and I had a monster 26-inch Weber, which I learned was a mistake, right?
Yeah,
you don't go out there with a semi truck to
cook a steak. There you go.
You learn how quickly you have to make another chimney or two.
Yeah.
But I reached out to Angel, and she just bothered the heck out of me and pestered me to join the SCA, and said people could do it with a Weber. And went to the Edgewater tournament. I think a lot of us within the ECSMs were kind of starting off at that Maryland tournament as a first tournament, and just basically got hooked. I mean, just what I learned in the barbecue world was the discipline, the timeline, the chicken salad, which I call the plan B's and plan C's, right? So you have to learn to adapt. Mm-hmm. So I love the discipline, but what I love the most about the barbecue is really that Friday night after the cook meeting, and you all get together, and that whole fellowship and cooking for the teams together, and that whole night of people. I had to do the fire management, sleep maybe 30 minutes of everybody getting together. That fellowship was really, really special back then, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I went to the SCA, and I just went, man, these guys are even cooler. You don't have to even shig. I mean, there's no shigging. We'll voluntarily shig everything, right?
Right. I love it.
So I fell in love with the folks, the environment, the one-day thing, and then COVID kind of hit all of us, and I think a lot of us didn't do anything for, I think it was almost 8 months until Spring Grove, when I kind of went back into it. And from that point on, I kind of just rocked and rolled, met the Garretts, loved the Garretts to death. And Paulina was there, Ed Gent was there, Jody Davis was there, Madman Dr. Pearl was there. And just from that point on, just kept on going. And finally got the gold, not the gold ticket, but got the pass to get into the World Championship last year by getting the points enough to make the at large, which was awesome. Got to meet you guys, and what an experience. And Mike, that was only 3 months ago. I saw that today. Feels like it's been a year ago, right?
I know it.
Yeah.
I know it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I went, damn, it was only 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Look what we've done in 3 months, right?
Yeah.
And just to meet, all the folks out there that you've talked to was just, I think Katelyn, you probably agree. We're more just in awe of just finally get to meet the
Yes.
the Lindsays and the Terry Roans and the Sonny Moody's, all the people that you kind of see out there, and it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's a lot of learning.
Yeah. Yeah. It was for me. Because here I walk in and it was just like, dang, everybody knew me, and I'm like, okay, who are you now? And, you're trying to. I felt like, dang, like a freaking movie star walking out, like, hey, come in, like, hey, I was like, what the heck? But it was great. It was so awesome. Y'all rolled out the red carpet for me and made me feel just like part of the family, and even my film crew and everybody. We were like, man, this was just unbelievable, and we was overwhelmed with everything. So, and it was a lot of fun. And yeah, you're right. It was just 3 months ago that all that happened.
I know,
and it's just continuing to grow. Well, that's a great story. It really is.
Yeah.
Well, Steve, tell us about you, buddy. How in the world where did you come? I know it's part-time barbecue, so I'm assuming you had to have done barbecue at some time and transitioned into steak. Tell us your journey.
Sure. So out here in Fillmore, California, a good friend of mine was promoting a KCBS event in 2013, I believe, and he just needed help lugging electrical cables, emptying trash, and just general labor. And so myself and a couple other guys said, sure, we'll help. And at the end of the event, one of the teams just gave us a bag of barbecue and brought it home and took a bite of it, and boom, head exploded. Right, competition brisket was a different world that I had not experienced. And a week later, the same group of guys, we get together on Saturday mornings over a bowl of menudo, and we were talking, and somebody says, we should form a team for next year and compete. So there was like 7 hands that went up. We're in. And I had a little bit of time available, so we came up with the team name, and I registered and made sure it was secured, and that, by default, I was the head cook. So then we said, well, let's build our own smoker.
Right.
So saying, we have plans to build a large reverse flow smoker, and we thought that's how everyone did it. So we went about that process. The next year was our first KCBS event in our own hometown. We broke all the rules that you shouldn't do. We didn't, we had a big party with a lot of our friends.
Uh-oh.
I was on the city council at the time, and so we had the police chief, we had the city manager, we had a bunch of people hanging out on Friday night and having a really fun time. We were also the team that got reminded there was a quiet time, and we had exceeded that, so we had to ramp that down. Anyway, the next day we made our turn-ins. We were really happy with the results, and I should say when we started there was like 7 hands that went up. Well, a year later, when it came time to actually cook, there was 3. So,
that's funny.
So our first competition, we were really happy. We were excited. We put on our shirt and combed our hair, and we figured we're just going to go up and get our awards. It was that great.
Right.
And we didn't come in last. Thankfully, there was 1 or 2 teams below us.
Wow.
We just started scratching our heads, right? And then that brought about the whole, what are we doing? And we just started kind of honing our craft and then taking classes. And back then I took Harry Sue, Slap Your Daddy's backyard class, and just to gain some understanding, watched a lot of YouTube and Google and everything else. And we just did a lot of practicing, and we had occasional calls here and there. And then we decided that we didn't, unlike Ras, we didn't want to stay up all night, or I didn't want to stay up all night and tend fire. So we switched over to hot and fast cooking on drums. Mm-hmm. So we took a drum class, and after that, things really started taking off. We cooked the first SCA event in California. That was 2018 down in San Diego. We took, I think, 3rd place in steak and 3rd place in tacos. So that was awesome. And as Raz said, COVID hit, and we kind of transitioned. KCBS all but shut down, and SCA continued in a safe, responsible manner. And now my KCBS teammate, he cooks on his own in SCA, and we set up tents next to each other. We often travel together, and we push each other to do better, and
Right.
that's helped. And you asked about a takeaway. I guess the biggest takeaway that I could offer somebody is you could spend a lot of money to gain experience, or you can invest in yourself and take some great classes and take bits of those classes and incorporate it into your cooking style and your cook plan. So that's the biggest thing. Have a cook plan, incorporate best practices, and just refine your craft. And
definitely.
Doing really well. It's hard to believe that Worlds were 3 months ago.
Yeah, ain't it though?
Man, time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Been fortunate to be very, very consistent in the walks.
Yep. What do you think? So I'm going to ask this question then. Here, let's get a pro tip. So, what has made you consistent?
Oh boy.
Just one or two things, just because we don't want to overcome. But if there was one or two things that you say that you could say that you have done that has helped make you more consistent, what would it be?
I think it's very small, minute tweaks on your game plan and your rubs, and not wholesale change out and revamping your whole style.
Yeah.
Now I say that, but in Sholo, where I got the golden ticket, I got the golden ticket on a brand new cook plan that I had not practiced, first time ever. So I kind of broke from my own
rules. Yeah. But sometimes you do that. I've done that before. I mean, it was a competition. Oh gosh, it was 2019. We went to little Minden, Louisiana, right 40 miles from us, and I was going to run a new rib recipe and a new brisket recipe, and my wife was like, "You have lost your mind. Why are you changing your rib? You had a second place rib here last year." And I was like, "Well, there's room for first place, right?" And she was like, I never practice my competition barbecue at home because it doesn't matter what I think. I put something together on a rub combination that I think that'll be good, and then I take it out and I see what the judges think. So I actually changed my rib recipe, and I said, I'm going to change my brisket recipe too. She said, now I know you've lost your mind because your brisket recipe has freaking been money ever since we've been cooking, and for you to go change that. And I say, I just want to try something a little different. And lo enough, I mean, I rolled it out. I had a first place rib. I said, see, I told you, there was room for improvement. And I think we ended up having a 5th or 6th place brisket. And, that brisket was very, very good. It was better than I think what I had been cooking. And I had changed the wrap process from that cook to the next cook. And it improved even better. And that was it was actually in 2018. And I made one more change, just a small little tweak to that recipe, the next cook-off, and I went on a run since that. That brisket has made me so much money. I had a first place, a second place, a first place, and a first place brisket the last 5 competitions of that year to finish out the year, and had a grand, a reserve, a grand, and a grand. And that was in 2018.
That's awesome.
So sometimes, making a little change, if you're going to step out, and try something, swing for the fence. But other than that, I'm like you. Ever since, I've made little tweaks. Is that kind of what all of y'all do? You find something, and then you've got to keep good notes and little tweaks. Is that what you're doing?
So, like at a contest, say I'm 16th place. Okay. Well, say my appearance was a 50. Okay. Well, I'm not going to work on that. Say my doneness, that was a 47. Okay. Well, in texture, that was a 48. Well, I know I need to stay. Okay, let's work on those 2 before I change this. Or taste. So my taste was a 51 point something. Okay, I'm okay there too. So definitely don't just so you go to a contest, you don't get top 10. Don't just clear your board and restart. I've been there, believe me. when I first got into this, I wouldn't get top 10. I would just completely do something different.
Right.
Well, I messaged John Lindsay and I was like, hey, I think I got like 16th at a comp, and I was like, how are you laying your rubs? I'm laying mine like this. I want to try something different. He said, what was your taste score? And I said, 51.6. And he said, well, why are you changing your rub?
yeah, you know.
I think it ended up being like my doneness and textures where I needed to work. So, definitely, just like Steve said, take it one thing at a time. John Lindsay, Matt Overson, in their class, they say control what you can control. And I went, and also back to basics. I went back to basics at Batesville when I did the Arkansas State Championship, and it paid off. I went back to basics. I stopped overthinking stuff so much. Mm-hmm. And in the words of Ronald Burns, have fun and cook a steak. And that's what I did. I mean, and it paid off, and definitely just one thing at a time. Don't completely change your whole profile of everything when it's one change. Because if you look at the scores in the SCA right now, they are super tight. Mm-hmm. 1 point can put you in top 10. So work on that category instead of changing every category is my 2 cents. I'm new to all this, but that's how I look at it anyway.
Right. You're spot on. I think that's great advice.
Mike,
what do you think, Ras?
I mean, it's just a steak, right? And you guys are saying it. And what happens to us too is you'll get on a roll, and your confidence goes up. You'll get a tournament and get close to DAL, right? And I actually remember, I think Riley had a tournament which was dead A last, and she was right back rolling, got her ticket right after. And it's so easy to get discouraged and want to change.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
And I remember going to tournaments where I kind of had, I got 2 tournaments in a row with walks, and I had one to where I just didn't do that well. And Rodney Garrett from the famous Garrett clan started yelling at me like, what are you doing? He goes, why would you change that? Don't change that. Do not change. Look at me. So I think he started shaking me. Didn't hurt me too bad, but and really you've got to go through, basically go through 2 or 3 tournaments, and you just got to trust your process. You've practiced enough. You've got your muscle memory. You got to trust what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's truly the steak. Sometimes it's you just got outcooked. Sometimes you just did something bad, or it's the judges. But you got to trust yourself, and then just keep on going with what works. But then practice like you're competing.
Practice.
Develop that muscle memory. How many times have we gone to the contest and things go array, and I'll go to Katelyn and say, "How'd you do?" She goes, "I have no clue. I think I overcooked it." You get lost, but it's like you're temping, and your temps are 5-6 different temperatures. You're going like, but your muscle memory, like shooting a 3-point, is so good. You trust what happens. You go, you know what? It'll be where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you practice enough, I think you get that muscle memory, you get that confidence. You don't change until you're just DAL for maybe 3-4 tournaments.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, it's not practice that makes perfect. It is perfect practice that makes perfect. And I think a lot of people don't really, I practice. But was it a perfect practice?
Right.
If you practice and you didn't nail every single thing that you needed to do during that cooking process, it was a wasted practice. You have got to execute perfect practice, and that will win more competitions than anything else.
Definitely.
Now, I'll give you a pro tip for a $5 discount on my next class.
You got it. Let's hear it. I'm taking one for the team right here. Let's go.
$5 coming. So I'll do a boot camp, and I think you guys do the same thing. I'll simulate from the steak selection, the whole timeline. But one thing I got into is I always do a third steak. So it's almost like being in the game, and then the game's over. And my third steak is just have fun, do something out of control, marinate for 6 hours if you want, try rubs you've never done, cut it. So basically just things that do outside the box. And what happens when you do that, you'll learn little tidbits. You go, oh man, this may actually work. And like you said, Katelyn, you actually do your little adjustments, and then later on when you practice, those little wild card fun cooks, you pop into your process. So it's good to be very disciplined, but then just go nuts and just cook a steak and just try stuff.
Yep.
Ever since I started the SCA, I don't know about y'all, but I couldn't tell you the last time I cooked a backyard steak. Every one of my steaks, I trim them. I do them just like I would a competition. I mean, it's like my mind will not let me just leave that I can't leave that tail on. It's got fat in it. I can't leave it on. It's like I got to take it off. I got to take it off. It's just like I got to trim it like I'm doing a competition. I don't know. My mind is just geared like that now.
Well, it's going to be.
There is some method to the madness, and there is an obsession that takes a hold and drives us. I know. And I'm not uncommon. It drives you guys too. I know it does.
Yes. I love every second of it, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good stuff.
It's a fun ride.
Yeah. Let's see, Steve, doneness and texture is an absolute week-to-week battle. There are so many variables that come into play. The heat has caused me some issues lately. Yeah, it definitely will. It'll definitely have an effect on it. So, are we going to see a sear attempt since you have your golden ticket, Steve? So, what do you think about that? You think this? I mean, we got. Will Collier did an amazing job. I mean, an absolute amazing job on a pan-seared steak that was like one of the most flavorful steaks I'd ever ate in my life. And the crust that he got on that was just absolutely phenomenal. The color, everything. What do you think? I know there's been some competitions out either in Florida or the East Coast that have been kind of doing good with some of this seared stuff. You think it's going to ever make a run?
I think it should. We all know what seared steak's all about, and we all love it. And so it absolutely should be judged in its own merit and awarded full points in appearance based on color, just like, a grill mark steak is. Mm-hmm. To answer Chris's question, backing me into a corner, I did commit to doing a seared steak, and now that secured that ticket, I will do one, sure. It'll probably be at a double, so I can run my regular recipe on one steak and then do a seared on another. But quite honestly, I'm not ready to do it yet.
Right.
I haven't practiced it enough.
Right.
But
yeah.
I will.
Yep. It's a process. There's no doubt. Absolutely. It's a process. It's a process.
And Will's class was awesome.
Yeah.
And on that topic and the steak selection, oh my gosh. And that's the great thing about the classes. And I don't want to sound like a stooge, but anybody that takes a class, there's going to be something that you can extract from that class that you can incorporate, as I said earlier. And doing it online is great because I can go back, and I rewatch them all the time and see new tips. And I think that helps make people a better cook when they do that.
Yeah. I've got a lot of people, they'll reach out and like, I've watched this class now 4 times and I've learned something new every time I watch it. How did I miss that the first 3 times? And I was like, I don't know. And that's what we tell people about because of the feedback that we keep getting. I tell people all the time, well, don't you think an online class is better? Nope, sure don't. I mean, a in-person class is better. And I was like, no, because you get one time to see it. You're only going to retain maybe at best 40% of what you see, recipes, this, that. You're not going to retain all of it. But with our online classes that we have, you can go back, you can keep watching, you can rewatch. And after probably 10 or 15 people that called and told me they have went back multiple times, I've watched this, I've learned, I've watched this, I've learned. I'm on my 4th time. And how did I miss Corey trimming that away and doing that? And I'm like going, I don't know, that you can't, it's too much information and you can't grasp it all in 1 or 2 times. So
my teammate, he kept notes on the pork and I kept notes on the chicken and brisket, and we flew back to California after taking the class, and I wanted to compile all the notes, and in very quick order, it was like, I got lost here. I didn't see it. Yeah. Now the one benefit to a live class is you get to taste and sample what they're doing, which is a great benefit. But reconstructing our notes was definitely a challenge.
Yeah. And here's what I tell people on the taste stuff. If you don't get all the other stuff that they did, the recipes, the injections, how they did it, everything, it will never taste like what it tasted there anyway.
Right.
So at least I can tell people this. When you see our class, you're going to see exactly how they put their rubs on, exactly how they do it. And we show you the texture like when we're cooking and this and that, especially in barbecue. And the taste is going to be there because you got everything exactly the same the way that they did it. And you're going to be able to cook it within a degree 1 or 2 degrees of that tenderness being exactly what it needs to be for barbecue. Steak's a little different. Y'all's just got a doneness. It needs to be a nice, perfect medium. So, but yeah, I definitely think that it definitely has helped. I think that's why we've seen such a big growth, is because let's face it, there was a lot of in-person classes for years, but I never saw those people out there tearing it up until we came along to allow people to go back and watch and rewatch, and then they can learn. Do y'all agree? Do y'all think that's true?
Yeah. I'll go back, a lot of times and just pick up, like you said, one more little tip to throw in. But I'll tell you really where you changed the game for us. Until we basically had the classes, we learned by a whole bunch of commercials. So we go to YouTube and look like at 12 different 3-minute videos and catch something, right?
Right.
And now this actually gives us the full length movie.
Right.
We got the popcorn, we got intermission, we got everything from steak selection. It's the first time we actually didn't have to piecemeal 10 videos, and you're seeing world champions, Terry and Matt and Sean, and just giving us from beginning to end the tell all, and it's incredible. It's hours worth of just incredible and valuable classes we can go back to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to run around real quick. I want a pro tip out of each and every one of y'all. Katelyn, give me a pro tip.
Oh, man. Okay. Practice. I definitely would not be where I am today without practice. And whenever you go to a comp, go around and talk to people, get to know them. The SCA family, the reps, the judges, the promoters, all of them at a comp, they're willing to help you. I know that I've been, like I said, my in-laws, they do KCBS. And, it's just a different environment. It's a different vibe with SCA. If you're new to the SCA world and it's your first competition, ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. We are all willing to help you. And you may have a tip that might help us, so it's definitely a family, and I couldn't be more blessed to be a part of it. And I am enjoying this fun ride, and I love each and every person and every one of y'all that I've met, and I can't wait to meet more. It's an amazing ride.
Great. All right, Ras?
My buddy Andrew actually had a really good weekend and got a second and third, and it's been interesting because even though he's practicing with me for a year, he's got the newbie questions, and the easy tip, and kind of to what you're saying, Katelyn, I want to piggyback one thing but take it a different way. The steak selection is what everybody freaks out about. These newbies, they get to that table with 1,000 steaks and all these people, and they're scared to death. And the steak is so critical and important. And to what you're saying, with all the cooks, you now have a chance, and this is the best opportunity to have 20 to 25 cooks waiting in line to pick a steak, talk, listen. They'll give you all the tips. You get so many pro tips in those 15 to 20 minutes on the most important part, which is really the great steak selection.
Yes.
So if there's one place to really bond with people, you get it. And then what happens as cooks, as the first steak, we all group up and we say, hey, let me see your steak, right? So you and I are immediately comparing steaks. Watch and listen what they're doing and ask questions and show your steak. You will get a dozen little classes on steak selection for free in those 15, 20 minutes. So great stuff right there.
Yes.
Yep, that's true. All right, Steve, you up.
Yeah, so I think one of the best opportunities that more seasoned SCA cooks can provide new cooks is I cook a practice steak. So I take that practice steak, and once I cut it and look at my doneness and taste and get the feel of the texture, and I alter my game plan, or I look at what I need to change for the competition steak. I'll cut my practice steak up, and I will take it to other teams around me, especially new teams if they're near me, and say, here's my practice steak. I'll let them taste it, and then I'll give them my assessment. Like, I over-seasoned it. I think it has too much salt. And I encourage them to do the same thing, because it allows them to get feedback from other cooks.
Right.
But you got to be willing to talk about it, and people have to be willing to share, good, hard, critical feedback.
Right.
But I think there's a lot to be learned from showing your steak,
Yeah.
especially with new cooks.
Yeah,
it helps them so
absolutely.
much. And we've
It'll
all been there. Sometimes you just need a little help, a little guidance, and that's what it's about.
Yeah. Well, we're going to offer something for all of our customers out there. I just put it up. We've got 4th of July coming up, so we have got a coupon that is active. It's Happy 4th to get 10% off any of our classes that will expire on July the 4th at midnight. And you can go to bbqchamps.com. I see Raz already going over there adding something to the cart. So, but it's just our way of saying we appreciate it. We don't have coupons that we do very often, but we did want to do this a couple times a year. We will. It's the expense of doing what we do is astronomical. There's nothing cheap about it. And if people only knew. So it cost us about $4,500 to film a steak class. To film it and get the page built for the cooks. We're close to $7,000 for our barbecue classes. So,
hey, Mike, I had one more piece of advice.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you're a new cook, I advise you to take a barbecue champs class.
Thank you for that plug. Wow. So, oh yeah, absolutely. They definitely help. Hey, we got Sonny on here. Glad to have you, Sonny. So have to come back and watch
Sonny.
it. I've taken one in person and spent $200 on it. I got one thing out of that class. Never able to go back and watch a video to pick up what I missed in person. Yeah, there you go. So,
hey, Mike, can I ask a question of Raz and Katelyn?
Yes, absolutely.
So, do you guys look at competitions as competing against other people, or just competing against your best self? How do you look at it?
I don't compete against people. I'm competing with people.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because again, in this sport, what's amazing, and I mean this, and you guys see the same thing. I'm ecstatic if somebody wins.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
My turn will come. So I never compete. I compete against myself personally. I'll beat myself up.
Yeah.
Driving back, I should have done better, but I wish everybody can beat me as well. Then I'll just beat myself to try to beat them later.
Yeah.
Right.
I've said it before. I can get first, I can get last, and I'm still going to have a good time. I mean, it's a blast. And even if you're out there and you're not a cooker, just come hang out. I mean, you will feel the love and the family aspect of it, and you'll want to come back. It's an amazing thing.
Absolutely.
I think the other thing about competition cooking in steaks, we have to be really critical of our own efforts, right? And you're only as good as your next cook. I can say that.
Yeah.
And I'll look at what I did, and I said, man, that scored, a 252 or 253 or whatever it scored. But you got to look at it and say, yeah, I think I could have controlled this better or done something better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
You got to point out your mistakes.
Definitely.
If you made a mistake, you got to note it. If it's on you, you got to own it, right? So,
Absolutely.
Yeah. 2 weekends ago, I got my first ever 11th place, and that hurt.
Just outside the top 10.
Literally, and that hurt. But I looked at what got me, and it was doneness and texture. So I honed in on that, and I worked on it, and it paid off Friday. Last Friday. So
awesome job. Congratulations.
That's great.
Well, I tell you what, I really have had a great time. We've had a lot of questions. We've tried to ask a lot of questions, and I want to make an announcement one more time. Nobody go, because I see we got more people on here now than when I made this at the beginning. But Barbecue Champs Academy has got a big contest going from now to September the 30th. So that's about 12 weeks for all of the Barbecue Champ Academy alumni that have taken our steak classes. And what we're going to do is we're going to give you $50 to the winner every week for whoever has taken our classes, one of our alumni. We're going to give you $50 to whoever had the highest overall score for that weekend across the country. And Steve won this back when we did this in the fall of last year. And what we'll do is we'll see who wins. We'll wire you the money, or not wire you the money, we'll PayPal you the money. And the only thing that we ask, we need the help because Facebook is getting hurt with this new iPhone 14.5 or 14.6 update. It's made our ads not quite as effective as what they used to be. So we're going to go back to the grassroots. We're going to go back to our customers who helped get us there in the first place, right? And so here's what we ask you to do. If you get a top 10 call and you're a Barbecue Champ Academy alumni, to enter the contest, we ask you get a top 10 call, go to the stage, and when you do, give a shout out to Barbecue Champs. If you want to say which class you took, heck, if you want to shout out all of them, that's up to you. We appreciate that. Number two, when you make your post about how you did, obviously most everybody posts, especially if you had a top 10. If you would, instead of doing a hashtag, do the @ sign, BBQ Champs Academy, and that way it'll populate it in blue, and somebody clicks it, it'll just take them right to our Facebook page. If you do those two things, it'll help us out tremendously with our advertising. It gets the word out that, hey, here's people that are successful that's taken our class. Everybody that did that for us last year, it exploded us, and we need that help again. We're seeing that it's kind of dying down. We don't have the effective ads quite as what they were a month ago, but things are getting better, but they're not there yet. So our way of giving back to you guys is if you help us do that, we're going to pick a winner every week, give you $50 for 12 straight weeks. We're going to do this from now to September. And if you do that, also if you would post your overall score, that may help me looking at things, but I need to see it posted because if you don't post it, if you don't put the @BBQ Champs, it won't come up in my notification. So if I see that, I'm going to go, hey, I know that they entered. I know that they entered. I know they entered. The ones that do that are the ones that's going to get the $50. So it's really important. I'm going to put this in every one of our message boards on our Facebook page for all of our individual cooks. So you will see that. It's going to start this weekend. Good luck. I appreciate everybody out there and all the support that you've given us. One last word, Katelyn, what you got?
It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor to be on the show tonight. Been an honor to be on here with Raz and Steve and you, Mike. And happy anniversary, Mike. This is congratulations. This is huge.
2 years.
Yes, happy 2 years, man. This is awesome. Thank you for
so
everything
much.
you do for the barbecue and steak world, and I couldn't be more grateful.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Raz?
Trust in the dust.
There you go. Can't beat it.
But no, it is. And Terry, you're awesome. It was great having you there. And again, congratulations to you. You definitely made it harder for everybody else to win, but you made it easier for the new people to catch up to us really quickly too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you for everything.
Thank you. Steve?
Yeah, so again, can't, well, I will. I'll reiterate. Yeah, congrats on 2 years of great service to SCA community and barbecue community also, Mike. So great job. I know a lot of people benefited from your vision and investment, and I'm one of those people, so thanks.
Yeah.
I got to thank my wife for supporting me in this crazy journey.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of fun, met a lot of great people. I'd like to thank Will Collier with Deadbird 180, Fogo Charcoal, Mad Cow Cutlery, and I don't know if I forget anybody, but it's been an awesome ride, and I've had such a blast. I can't wait to get back out and cook again up in American Fork, Utah, see my Utah family again. And,
there you go.
You know, I'm there to help, and I appreciate your support, and let's go. Let's do it.
That's it. It's been a great show. Hey, everybody, take advantage of that coupon that you see right there on the screen. Happy 4th. Yeah. Any of our classes get 10% off. It's right there. It's right there. 10% off. Happy 4th. Use that coupon code. Love all you guys. I've had a lot of fun. 4th of July is coming. It's about family, friends, and loved ones. We'll see everybody, Lord willing, next Tuesday night at 7 o'clock Central as we go live with another group, either barbecue or steak. We don't know yet. We always we fly by the seat of our pants. That's just the way we do it. And as we always say in our classes, y'all have a lot of fun and smoke on.